Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Several nights ago, I was fortunate enough to complete the Deep Stone Crypt raid flawlessly as part of my quest to retain my maximum triumph score for a third consecutive season. My successful completion came after about 50 attempts across 5 separate teams, well over 24 hours put in. It was quite the ordeal to say the least. Now, I have cleared Last Wish and every raid after flawlessly, and I can say that without a doubt, this raid took the longest to do. But it is important to note that I did all of those other raids flawlessly at least a month after they came out. So this is the earliest that I've ever done a flawless, and I'm sure that contributed to how long it took to actually get it done. But even though the raid is relatively new, the fact that the infinite shelter from the storm glitch for the Pike Puzzle is still currently active as of the time that I'm making this video, and LFG enthusiasm for the flawless is still relatively high, I feel that if you're one of the people out there who wants to try to go for maximum triumph score and wants to get this flawless done, now is your time to do it. Should you be interested in doing the flawless for yourself, I have taken all of the various bits of knowledge that I accumulated from my various flawless attempts and did a voice-over commentary over the gameplay of my entire flawless run. So instead of just putting the footage out there and leaving you guys to try to decipher what's happening and what my team did, I decided to go back over the whole thing, just kind of watch it along with you guys and explain what was happening in hopes that maybe you can learn a thing or two that could benefit you and your team. Along with everything that I say, each encounter will come with its own little graphic over there on the right side of the screen. You can see a sample right now. These graphics detail what each player's role was for that encounter, any little tips that I could give for operator, scanner, or suppressor, and also a couple weapon recommendations if I have anything to suggest there. So just some general things to help you guys out that no matter where you go in that encounter, you're going to be able to see them on the side of your screen and just get a general idea of what we did and who was doing what. Now, I'm going to try to be as thorough as possible with what I say and what's in the graphics combined, but of course, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer as promptly as possible. Even if you're in your flawless run, don't be afraid to comment something if you're like, hey, does this actually work? Because you never know, I might actually have my phone on me or something at the time and I can go and quickly give a reply that can maybe save your team a lot of time. And one last thing really quick, there is going to be quite a bit of skipping in the gameplay footage, and a couple of times some rather large chunks of the gameplay were just omitted thanks to my good old standard edition PS4's power, I guess. It just wasn't strong enough to record those moments, and it just decided, pretty long clip, let's just cut it out. So I will do my best to explain what happened in the little chunks that were cut out. Really nothing from what I could see in reviewing the footage initially was too important. Probably the biggest thing that was left out was Taniks dying. Like, you can see the last bullet hit him and him start to like explode when he dies at the very end, but then it just kind of skips when the triumph's showing up on the screen. So yeah, really can't help anything about that, but hopefully I can get my hands on a PS5 sooner rather than later. Still haven't ordered one, but hopefully I can get my hands on one sooner rather than later, so all of those issues will just magically go away. I'll have a console that's strong enough to not have to skip parts of a clip when it's recording a rather long clip. So, okay then. Well, I guess that's my signal to start the video, so hope you guys enjoy, hope this helps you out, and I'll see you guys once we get into the gameplay. Okay, and welcome to the flawless run. The Deep Stone Crypt, so, for this first little part here, I just want to take it nice and easy. There are 2 captains and a bunch of ads. Kill them safely. They're pretty generously spread out, so you shouldn't have to worry about getting ganged up on by them. And there's 6 of you and 2 captains, and the ads really don't do a whole lot of damage, obviously. So, as long as you're of light or above light, you should be absolutely fine here. Handle them just like that, nice and careful. Then hop on your sparrows, go through the hatch, and go to the Pike Puzzle. Now, one quick note about sparrowing in this raid. Don't boost if you don't think it's safe. Be very cautious about your boosting. You don't want to accidentally knock someone into a wall and have to go back to orbit because that killed them. If you're not confident sparrowing, either just drive, like boost sparrowing, then either don't boost and just kind of lightly glide along, or get off your sparrow and leg it. It's definitely the safer option. Whatever's going to keep you alive and keep everyone else alive is what you should do. My 5 teammates were very confident with sparrowing this entire first part, but I wasn't, so I liked part of it. Here you see us doing the Infinite Shelter and Storm buff glitch, and there's a nice little skip in the gameplay. Basically, you put your sparrow outside the first or second heat bubble, preferably the first heat bubble for a flawless run, just so that you get it nice and early on. You put it out where you're getting the frostbite debuff, and then you hop off your sparrow back into the bubble, and then you wait for your frostbite to go away, and then you get back on your sparrow from inside the bubble, and for whatever reason that animation of, or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, of you being pulled out of the bubble onto the sparrow gives you the buff infinitely. Now, of course, if you're watching this later down the line, there's a good chance that this glitch gets patched, but if it's still available as of the time you're watching this video and as of the time that you're running your flawlesses, I highly recommend you use it. Saves you a lot of time on this first encounter. So you're basically going from the first heat bubble to the fourth heat bubble, and then making your way towards the fifth, but right before you drop down to the fifth one, you're going up to the right on some elevated ice sheets that I'm now walking on, so I wasn't comfortable sparrowing on them. And in my case, I had 5 people to serve as a marker as to where to go. I knew which direction I was going, but just for specifically how far I had to go, I just knew I had to go to them. But if everyone's liking it and you happen to be first, just go towards the brig sounds and stay up here and kill stuff. Again, my team, very ambitious. They were down there right with all the enemies trying to kill them. I stayed up top for safety. Didn't really have any problems with people dying from being down there on any of our attempts. This first part usually went very well. So, yeah, just gently make your way down. Hop into the doorway. Now, an interesting thing with this door, I don't know if it happens on this run. Let me just see if it happens. Yeah, okay, so right here. You see my sparrow gets caught in the door. Now, an interesting thing about this, if this happens to you or anyone on your team, don't panic, because right there you can see that the door will reopen. It doesn't always reopen, but if it does, then you know you're in good shape. But if you're getting trapped in the door, don't panic, because the way that trapping works is either your guardian is going to be on the inside of the door, in which case only the back of your sparrow is trapped in the door, or your guardian's going to be on the outside and only the front of your sparrow is trapped in the door. So therefore it's going to force your guardian either to the inside or the outside. It will not crunch you against the frame and cause you to die. You're perfectly safe. And you may also get trapped out of some of the doors there, either at the start of that encounter or at the end of it. So if you do, just wait for it to open, go into the airlock yourself, wait for it to open on the other side, and then join up with your team. In this part, sparrowing down, there's obviously the left, middle, or right path. My teammates took the right path. I took the left path. You could take whichever path you want. Just make sure, right here, you go up nice and gently. I'm going to skip ahead there. Some people get off their sparrows at this part, so just be vigilant as to who's used to doing that, who's comfortable doing that, just so that you don't knock them into walls again. Gently park your sparrow here like I did. You slow down. You don't send your sparrow flying towards the person who's trying to place a rally banner, because that has killed people in my fire teams. Someone just hops off a sparrow goes flying, clocks the guy in the head, and he's dead. You don't want that. Everyone is going to be upset at you, and you're probably going to be not too happy with yourself. So, there you can see the graphic change for this encounter. Got all of our roles there on the side of the screen. We ran the one scanner, one operator strat. Technically one operator, like one active operator. We did have a person who took the operator buff as the scanner was passed down for damage. Right now we're just taking a little break to make sure that we're all absolutely clear on what we're doing. Pretty much for this entire raid I had the Heritage on as my kinetic weapon. I have the Ikelos here. That will be changed to the Cloud Strike for the boss. Otherwise I had it on, and my heavy right now is the Xenophage. So you can tell from the graphic, I highly recommend you use it for this part. There might be better options for damage or whatever, but if you're unsure of what to use, just use the Xenophage. It's a pretty much a guaranteed one phase, especially with any sort of damage buffs applied. I am on my Titan for this run, just as we're killing some ads here. My Titan, since the start of last season, has really been my main character just because I like the way he looks better than all of my other characters. I know the Nezrak is kind of my thing, but that's really all I like in my Warlock. Like, now that the Tangleweb chest piece was sunset, I don't like any chest pieces, and none of them go with the Trials helmet, which is my favorite legendary helmet, so never really liked anything on my Hunter, so Titan it is. I think my Titan looks pretty nice. So make sure you're helping whoever's on your side kill all the ads. In terms of the scanner called out Dark Side first because the person was starting on Dark, and then they walked across to light. The operator waited until all 4 callouts were made, then they went down and had the buffs exchanged. They shot what they had to shoot, and now we're at DPS. So we have a well, we have a bubble. Good thing to know about how wells work while the exploder strengths are out. While you're in a well, if you have a full overshield and you're like 1050 at least in terms of your power level, the shanks will not one-shot you in a well. If there's 2 shanks, they will, but if there's 1 shank right there, you can see, nothing happens. Perfectly good. And the shanks spawn far enough apart that you shouldn't have too much of a problem getting an overshield back before like the second one comes up to you. And just like that, the callouts were made very quickly. Xenophage did very, very quick work of the different canisters, and we're done as good old garlic clove, as I like to call him, starts talking over the AI. One quick thing about the health on the canisters, the explosive canisters that you're shooting, it lags because you're taking it down so fast. It's not intended to be taken down as fast as your team will do it if you use Xenophage especially. So just remember that when you go to run towards the chest and out of the encounter once you complete it, that some of the exploder shanks may still be up because they don't despawn right away because technically the health is not done running out. If you're done with the encounter, the canisters won't blow up or anything, they're done, but technically the encounter's not over because the health hasn't registered. So make your way past the darkness statue into the room with the little mini Taniks cutscene very carefully. Don't do any sort of crazy jumping on the statue or anything as much as you may want to. Play it safe. Now we're at 8 tracks. So everyone should have Lament for this part. Lament is the absolute best DPS weapon for this. I stayed on Bubble. We had some wells. Hunters, I don't remember what they used. Don't use Tether, especially if you're a hunter at this part. Do not use Tether. Unless you're using it for ad clear at the start, do not use Tether. Because if you try to tether the replicants, especially because, well, I'd imagine you're going to be using top tree if you're running Tether. So if you're running top tree Tether, that's definitely not a good idea for this part, because if you tether one replicant, it may chain to another replicant, in which case both replicants will take damage, and the one that was not supposed to be damaged will wipe you. So, just for the sake of safety, I would not do that. So here we go. Starting the encounter, I'm on the top side as ad clear, so I'm going to be going up with the top side scanner and the operator. We did not start 4 and 2, we started 3 and 3 from the beginning, just so that we had people taking out ads at about the same rate on top and bottom. Operator was passed up once someone got it on the bottom. Make sure you call out where the operator is to help out there, or I should say at least when you have it, because you're not calling it out for someone, you're getting and sending it up. Call out scanner on the top though, make sure that the top scanner can get their buff as soon as possible. I was criticized for using a bow at this part, so I just kept my Akelos on. Just make sure that if you do choose a closer range weapon, that you get close enough to the enemies to actually do some considerable damage, because you do want your enemies down quickly for when servitors come out, and especially for if you need your scanner to go get the scanner buff on your side. So you see, get scanner on my side. Doesn't matter, we're going to do a little skip there. Good old PlayStation 4. Going to go up there with the shotgun. Currently, the operator is just being held on the bottom. I'm calling out that the scanner's on my side. We worked the operator buff kind of strangely. We had it held and just we had to put in the terminal while we were doing our first damage phase, and then it was picked up after the first damage phase from the nearest terminal. I would feel more comfortable if our team had, or if our operator had his buff earlier on, just so that they could send down the pods earlier. It wasn't so much of a rush after the first damage phase, but you know, to each team there in that regard wasn't too big of an issue. Here we go, first damage phase going over, charge up the Lament, 3 light attacks, and then as many heavy attacks as you can get off. Usually it's 1, but occasionally you can get 2 to register. In terms of how we cleansed, we did 1, 2, and then just had the last guy refresh his buff before the final stand damage phase, so we didn't even cleanse the 4th guy. And just one quick thing that I forgot to mention when we were clearing ads, we kept the right servitor up, or the top right servitor up, because for the very first damage phase of this fight, you can wait for the extinction thing to happen as long as you want, as long as you have a servitor up. So we just left that servitor up until everyone was confirmed to be ready, and then we killed it at the start. So currently have the scanner sent down. I'm up top just waiting for the second damage phase to be called out. Bottom side does their damage, they send their guy up, it's being called out. front middle right there. Got the melting point on. Got the implement, see the countdown, your damage. Always good to have a countdown to make sure everyone can get there for damage. You can wait a couple seconds. There are 3 different pulses that this boss will do before he truly wipes you, so you can wait up to 2 pulses really. Myself and the guy who got the debuff from the first damage phase below went into the vacuum right there, got cleaned off. And bottom side just needs to do a tiny little bit of damage to get us to final stand, then they'll come up. The operator will wait here at the elevators for the guy with the buff to come up, while the other 4 of us will go and get ready for the final replicant that we have to hit. So while we go and kill that final replicant, the buff on the guy coming up will be, or sorry, the debuff on the guy coming up will be refreshed by the operator. Now for this, we really didn't have defined callouts, it was just follow the scanner, which is a pretty safe practice. Guy has a big yellow thing over his head, and especially if you're absolutely clear on the name of the person, which you should be for a flawless run, you'll have no problem following him like that. And even though there was a skip, got the encounter done. I think we missed Atrax dying and me picking up the chest, but it's all good. So just like that, nice and safe. And I switched to a bow for the jumping puzzle just because some of the shanks can be kind of farther away. Switched to Thunder Crash in case I ever need to save myself. Pick up some orbs before you go to the jumping puzzle if you switch your super, just in case you're going to die earlier on or something like that, or you have trouble earlier on. That way you just get your super a little bit faster and have it as that backup. You're going to see the graphic for the jumping puzzle come up when we hit the top door that everyone has to be at in order to go outside. But Titans, you want Lion Rampants if you're comfortable with it. Missile Titans, so yeah, Striker, Middle Tree. Hunters, you're probably going to want Tether for tether stalling, that's all I can really think of, but Stompies as your exotic, there you see the graphic. Top Tree Dawnblade if you want the flying ability, or you could go Well if you want to hold your grenade, it's up to you if you're a Warlock. Also, before everyone switches their supers, if you want to get some extra orbs, just have the Wells and Bubble Titans who haven't popped yet just use their supers apart from each other so they don't cross collect orbs, and then you can pick up those orbs after you all switch your supers. So stay here, kill these initial shanks. Wait for the skiff to leave. I've seen people die to that skiff. You don't want that skiff to run across this little beam here and knock someone off as they're trying to jump. It's easily avoidable if you just have a little patience, wait for the skiff to go by. Practice this part before you go for the flawless run. Make sure you have a plan here as to where you're going and how you're going to do it. I had a lot of practice, obviously this being almost run number 50, so I knew exactly where I was going. I was very lacking in confidence still, but I knew how I had to time my button presses. So we have a lot of people going to the right. A lot of people seem to prefer the right route here. I prefer the left route, because the platforms seem a lot bigger and easier to land on for me. And there's railings on this part right here. I don't like having to go into the tiny little octagonal cages on the right side. So, yeah, nice long straightaway here. And then wait on this corner. Don't try to jump over the railing. Go right before the railing breaks on the left side. Wait for that little rotator thing to go past. Little blade to go past, and then you just want to slowly make your way up. Now there will be some shanks that will respawn behind you here. They don't respawn for a while though, so you're pretty much safe for a good amount of time after you kill them. Things got a little bit hairy there. Trying to make it up, but you land on that platform, go up to the top of the helipad, then you go where I'm going right now, to this middle beam here. My team had wiped out all the ads ahead of me first. They're just quicker and more confident. Hop up here. Make your way around the dead fallen. Again, take your time here. You will have those shanks respawning behind you, but take your time. There you see the skiff coming in to drop off more shanks. Did I say pikes? I meant shanks. More shanks coming behind you. Just very carefully hop, stop your run, start the jump over. Interesting thing happened on one of my prior attempts. Someone actually got hit by the blades, like the rotator blades, and you can actually hold your jump. If you get hit by a blade and you're thinking, oh, I'm getting swept to my death, hold your jump. do not cancel your jump, because you can actually get pushed into the sockets that those things go into, and there are little ledges inside that you can hold on to. And if you have any sort of super, like a Dawn Blade, or I guess even Hunter Stompies was enough, because the guy that it happened to on my team was able to simply with catapult jump and line rampants on a Titan get out. I'm sure the Hunter jump would be high enough. You just have to kind of navigate your way out when someone tells you the coast is clear. It's entirely doable. So if you get caught up in one of those rotaty things, just ride it in. So there's a chance that you can be saved. And take your time here. People are going up top. That warlock you see ahead of me actually was calling out that he jumped over my head. I'm like, okay. Just gonna let you go first then. Taking it very slowly and methodically. Don't want to mess up. This is the hardest part of it. Because a lot of people think they know what they're doing, and then they get to a flawless run and the pressure's a lot higher than they anticipated. It's not that they don't know what they're doing, it's just they don't have the confidence that they know what they're doing. If they had that confidence, it would be a breeze. So be reassuring of your teammates, help them out, and be safe with the brigs here. People were sorting the brigs, and I entirely forgot that Lament heals you when you charge it up and start doing light attacks and taking damage, so... yeah, so made it to this doorway here. Everyone has to be here, so do not leave. This is I probably should have said this at the start of the jumping puzzle, but do not leave for the jumping puzzle, because you can join back and you can finish a flawless run and get the raid report flawless tag, but you will not actually get the triumph, so you have to be there for the whole flawless run. They changed that. I'm assuming that's how it's going to be for flawless runs from now on. So and it's going to skip up here quite significantly, but just be safe. There's no way you can die here. Solid floor, low ceiling, no gaps. So make it over to here. I put back on the guillotine. You see the graphic change. So I was an operator for this, but yeah, I put back on the guillotine. I don't like the Lament for this. Plus the captains, I believe, have void shields, so it just did a little bit of extra shield breaking damage. So we have a second here before the encounter starts. Just to get set. Make sure we know our roles, ran through everything. So the approach that we took for the balls on this, or I should say the nuclear cores, was that scanners were each assigned a specific side of the room. So Reaper had the left side of the room and Proven had the right side of the room. And the operator team was on the left side and the suppressor team was on the right side for the most part. Of course, suppressor you had to run across the room and hit the 3 different pods, but you basically assign both of those other teams to a side of the room, and then whoever's off duty is the one that guards the scanner assigned to your side. So whenever I was off duty, like I am here to start, my job was to guard Reaper whenever he picked up a ball. And whoever was not the suppressor on the opposite side, I believe it was... yeah, Chop was not active to start. He was guarding Proven to start. Also should probably mention that I LFG'd this. So I am an LFG player entirely. I don't have a big clan. It's literally just myself and my friend Weffel. I work sometimes off the people I've friended over the years from LFGing, but usually it's whenever I have time to do something, I just try to go and do it through LFG. And it worked out yet again with this run. But right there you see that both balls were forced, or nuclear cores were forced to the right side. I'm going to call them balls. Both balls were forced to the right side, and Reaper didn't quite get there, so in that case, just be vigilant. Everyone who's not currently doing a job should just be vigilant. So really, when it comes to picking up the balls, it's if you're not the suppressor, you should be vigilant in case you have to do anything. We got the first one in. Operator was the first buff deactivated. Make sure you call out deactivations after balls are put in. Immediately on duty. Shooting that right one. So you can, again, just a little reminder, you can stay to your side when you're the operator, because 3 terminals will light up. So worst case scenario, you have 2 terminals on your side. Just always try to shoot the farther one. That way, you know, you have at least 1 middle ball in that case. And the more balls you can get to spawn in the middle, the better, because the shorter the distance from the ball spawning terminals to the deposit boxes. Also, another important thing here is make sure you have your callouts clarified, what your deposit boxes are. Because I have wiped because someone's like, well, that's not how I did it. And even though we confirmed with the person beforehand that we were going to use these callouts, the person still was, I guess, just not paying attention or really didn't care. So make sure everyone on your team knows what the callouts for the deposit boxes are. Even if you have to have every single person recite them, do it. It'll save you time. We went with front right, back right, front left, back left, front being closer to Taniks, back being closer to the spawn. So here you see I'm on duty again, and people really just weren't going for this middle right ball spawn. They just really weren't going for it. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Have a little bit of radiation, but all good. And then I put that in. Of course, the clip skips. And got deactivated, putting my operator in. Staying alive. When it comes to supers here, if you have an offensive super, feel free to use it whenever. Wells, you can just pop them in the middle, wherever you want, really. Pop bubbles in the back here or in the front. Do not pop them on top of the scanner balls, because then you're making, or the suppressor nodes, the suppressor little beach ball things, because then you're making your suppressor jump up into the air, and it's not fun for them. It's an inconvenience. And of course, look at this. This is like the 4th time I've had to run over here. I'm like, guys, someone has to get this middle right ball. But went to front right, put that ball in. Did not dip back in my own bubble for some reason. Now right here where the satellite space station. When the space station gets all red and fiery at this point, you have an extra like chunk of time before the next ball spawn. So just take your time here, regroup, collect orbs, reload your weapons, go get some ammo, and prepare. You have 2 more dunks at this point. 2 more dunks. If your team is begging to do like 3 balls at a time, don't do it. Just do 2. Choose the easy route with how you when you can choose how the mechanics work in an encounter. You want to take the easy route for flawless. You want to take what's more manageable. And 2 balls is definitely more manageable. That means you don't have to assign someone to every single person, so you're not telling your suppressor, hey, you gotta go cover your buddy. Right? Like the moment you're done with your job. So again, for the 4th or this is the 5th time now, someone did not get that middle right ball. Although I think that my teammate Paz was getting up there just at about the same time I did, so. Probably could have gotten it, but still, it's too close for comfort. But you know what? If you're like me, you're very adaptable, so you just gotta pay attention to what needs to be done and go do it. Here we go. I believe this is the final dunk. This shoots the far left ball terminal, says no way, and force the 2 spawns to middle. There we go. Just clearing some shanks, making sure things cannot possibly go wrong here. And there we go. Encounter done. Skipping the video clip. Make sure everyone is ready to drop down the hole as soon as you hear good old garlic clove come over the intercom. And just run. Nothing can kill you here. Don't super. Don't try to like shoulder charge or whatever. Just run. Run and jump. It's the safe option. There's nothing to kill you here unless you somehow manage to grenade launcher yourself or something. I don't know why you necessarily be using a grenade launcher, but yeah. Now for this part, you can, as long as you don't have like a considerable chunk of health lost at this point, you really can't die. Again, unless you grenade launcher yourself or something. So just pop your supers, put yourself inside a bubble, put yourself in a well, everything will be fine. And also stay out of your inventory here if you can help it, because you could get the infinite hobble glitch, which basically I'll talk about in a second when you can see me hobbling. It's right here, this hobbling animation. You could be infinitely stuck in this if you're in your inventory and you just happen to walk to the wrong part of that room, like the back part, like too far back in that room before the thing crashes. So just make sure you're not in your inventory while you're in there, because I did have it happen to someone unintentionally where they were in the infinite hobble. Now you can get out of it by popping your super or putting a ball in terminal, but you don't want to have someone wait for their super and then have to pop the super and then rally the flag, or better yet, they rally the flag and then they have to pop their super and then they have to wait for their super to come back. So it's easily preventable, so just stay out of your inventory. So in terms of DPS here, we all changed to Cloud Strike. Cloud Strike is your safest option. It gives you distance, and you might say that Double Slug and Anarchy works just about as well, because Anarchy can make you you don't even have to shoot. You just put it on, just walk away, and make sure you don't die to the purple stuff. And yeah, I guess, but Cloud Strike also allows you to not have to, I guess, well, not everyone might feel this way, but at least in our case, we were like, we're going to have that feeling like we have to just move closer to the boss while we're DPSing, and Cloud Strike as a sniper just gives you that impression that you can stand farther back and it's okay. So you don't have to worry about range drop off. And yeah. So gonna wait here, set up everything. Operators at spawn over by blue on the left side from where I am. That's where scanners are, and then suppressors are down at the bottom. I think that's pretty standard. Now, being an operator, I didn't want to run a sword because I had my heritage still on for shooting the nodes on Taniks. And I had my Cloud Strike for DPS. Yeah, I didn't want my sword on because I couldn't easily shoot the purple balls that, or the purple like entrapments that people got stuck in. So this is how I just handled that. I don't have the raid LMG, or else I would have run that, but this one from Varys works just as well. So yeah, people weren't very confident running in to break his little nodes, so I just did it with my shotgun. I do have the God roll, a recombination reconstruction roll with a reload masterwork. I actually don't have assault mag. I don't even remember if assault mag can roll on it. But so yeah, right here you're working in pairs again. Whoever the off-duty suppressor is, you follow the same scanner as you did in the last encounter. Whoever the off-duty operator is, you follow the same scanner as you did in the last encounter. Make sure you're making callouts nice and early, and that you're calling out who's deactivated in a nice prompt fashion so people can pick up their buffs. I would recommend picking up the ball from the scanner between 5 and 7 on the radiation. So just make sure that if you're one of the scanners, you're calling that out. Make sure that if you're a scanner, you're also vigilant as to when you have to pick up balls. And also call out early which one you're going to out of the 2 terminals. That way there's no confusion. And when you're walking to terminals, avoid any objects on the battlefield. Like right there, you can see 2 people going to 2 who walked close to a pillar. That pillar actually killed someone on my team, because I guess whenever you switch the balls between people, there's like a quick like force that just draws them together, and it's very, very strong. And it was actually enough to pull someone against that little pillar that's right now to my left. That is, you can see on the left hand side of the screen right there, and it killed them. So just stay clear of objects. And also, if you have 2 people, or I should say 2 balls that have to go to deposit boxes that are right next to each other, make sure you stay apart from each other. That not that you're overlapping pickups to where someone, say operator, takes the ball off their scanner, and then the suppressor person takes it off the operator person. Then the one person doesn't get their ball removed in time. So just make sure that you stay apart. So here's damage. We have the bubble early for the weapons of light, and then we have the well inside the outer Taniks' outer electricity ring, I guess. And we have Divinity on. Make sure you put Divinity on the lower half of him. That way the bubble is below and it's easier to see. My goodness, the skip there really caught me off guard. So yeah, and then after you do 2 damage phases, go back to killing ads. About halfway through the damage phase when Taniks knocks you back, just try to see if you can hop into the bubble to refresh your weapons of light so that it lasts the entire damage phase. That way you get that little bit of out of damage. As you can see, Cloud Strike is very effective and it's very reliable for DPS. So take your time, be careful. If you're an operator, just make sure you're at a vantage point between the 2 different areas that people could be going with the balls. Wherever Taniks is, there will never ever be ball deposits there on that rotation, so just try to position yourself in the middle of the other 2 places that people can go. So here, I'm able to watch the people going to 1 and the people going to 2. I'm ready to take a ball if I have to, so again, that flexibility where I'm in a position to be able to help, so I'm willing to do so. There we go. My operator got locked out, or I should say deactivated, so now I've put it in the terminal, and I will be following my scanner for the very final ball dump of the wire. terms of which nodes we shot, we went with the front two first every time, then got the back two. No real calls as to who picked up first, it's just whoever's closest, although typically it just turned out to be my guy who picked up second. In that case, I just saw the ball on the ground. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make sure we get this done. So I picked it up, and as you can see here, I'm making sure that I keep distance from the team going to 6, the team going to 5, because we're going to 6. That way we don't accidentally overlap, get trapped in the same purple bubbles, or that we don't have that ball changing thing I talked about earlier, where someone's ball ends up not getting picked up because two people quickly take a ball between themselves. Or I should say pass a ball between themselves. So here we go. DPS time, the final damage phase. We got the bubble down, got our snipers out. If you're someone who's not running the primary bubble or the primary well, you could probably just run special finisher to ensure everyone gets special. I didn't. I probably should have. I didn't use my super at all, but there you go. You can see Cloud Strike absolutely melting his health off. And then keep that damage on when he's about to go into final stand. You can get a little bit off right there. You see the Divinity going back on. I'm out of ammo. I am not about to approach him with a shotgun. So I'm just keeping my LMG on, and he's going to die right about here, and it's going to skip. So we don't actually see him blow up, but you can see right there the triumph. Completed, successful, flawless run. In that time, during the skip, I was really just telling everyone, stop whatever you're doing, just don't die. And they did that. Here we go. So there you have it. A successfully completed, flawless Deep Stone Crypt raid. Well, that video turned out a lot better than expected. I was assuming that I was going to be sitting here for hours on end just trying to record the whole thing over and over and over because I wasn't satisfied with it, but first try, no cuts, and I'm pretty happy with the results. If you found this video helpful, please let me know that. I'd be open to making this style of content more often in the future. Again, I do go for maximum triumph score every season, and I was successful in having it by the end of the season for the last 2 seasons, and I believe I can do it again this season. So now that the triumph system has been changed a little bit, I should be able to have every single active triumph in the game, and that means that any triumph that you have any sort of questions about or that you'd like my take on, I can probably provide what you're looking for. And even if I can't speak from personal experience about a triumph, I would be more than glad to put in some time doing a little bit of research and compiling some useful information for you guys. For now, that's all I have for you guys. I really just wanted to add this extra segment as one final check-in to say, if you have any questions about absolutely anything, comment them below. Again, even if you're in your flawless run, comment them below. I might be able to help in a timely fashion. So, yeah, that's all from me. Have a wonderful day. Take care, and I will see you all again soon. And good luck if you try the flawless for yourself. Again, I know it can be really challenging, but best of luck.